We've got five different things to taste today. I'd recommend having some spoons with you or some other tasting implement that's easy to taste. You get one of two options. You either have matzo crackers from the Matzo Project or you have bagel chips from Zingerman's Deli. Those are good palate cleansers along the way if you're getting overwhelmed with flavor. I also like to have my bottle of water with me as an additional palate cleanser, and any other fun accompaniments that you can think of. If you have any cheeses that you want to taste along with too, that's always fun. We'd love to hear what you're eating along with American Spoon items. All right, that being said, I'm going to turn it over to Jenna, and she's going to introduce herself.
Hi, everyone. So I'm Jenna, and I'm the brand director over here at American Spoon. I've been working with the company for a little over a year now, and I, like most people, I'm just absolutely smitten with the company, smitten with the history, and obviously the product is just absolutely outstanding. And I'm excited to tell you a little bit more about it all. Yeah, so just a little, I'm gonna share my screen really quick because I just have a little presentation that I will get us going with. 1 second.
Folks, because we also have a pretty small group today, if you guys have questions along the way and you just want to unmute yourself and give us a shout, we'd also love to hear from you that way too.
Yeah. Well, it looks like I'm not allowed to share my screen, looks like. So that is great. I am on someone else's computer, and it is, hang on 1 second. Should have tested this puppy beforehand. Got some privacy settings I'm working on here. Hold on. Yay, there we go. Okay. Crud. Well, you know what? Let's just talk through it. Screw the presentation. We're good. We're good.
Jenna, I also have the old version of it if you'd like me to share that one.
Sure, pop it on.
Let's do that.
Why not? Cool. Well, in a nutshell, here are the products that we'll be tasting today. Cherry Berry Conserve, which is an exclusive collaboration between Zingerman's and American Spoon. We've had it for quite some time. It's been in our line for quite some time. Sour Cherry Preserves, which is our #1 bestseller. Red Haven Peach Preserves, which is our #3 bestseller, but has by far the most romantic story behind it. Our whole seed mustard and our apple and onion jam, which are our two most popular condiments. So we'll just take it from there. And you can keep going. That was just another little intro slide. So just a little background on American Spoon. So we were founded in 1982, just around the same time as Zingerman's. And we were founded as an artisanal specialty food company, one of the first of its kind, with the regional American food and cooking movement. And we have very special relationships with farmers and foragers and growers all over Michigan. And we're very proud of those partnerships, and we've grown and cultivated them over the years. And we really focus on the preservation and protection of a lot of heirloom varieties of fruit and vegetables that would otherwise be forgotten. So that's something that we're really proud of and we really like to talk about and celebrate. And there's just a few photos from over the years. American Spoon was our founder is Justin Rashid over there in the corner, and that lovely bald man he's with is Larry Forgione, who is a chef in upstate New York, who Larry and Justin founded the company together. Justin was more of the forager, outdoorsman, and Larry was this kind of famous New York chef. And they met, and Justin started shipping him morels and buffalo meat and leeks and all sorts of Michigan things that you could forage and find in the Michigan forest. And he really introduced him to the fruit lands of Michigan, which are all over on the west side of the state, on the water with a very special, there's some very special environmental factors that make it such a great place to grow fruit and berries. So with that knowledge he gave, they came up with the idea to start a jam and preserves company here in northern Michigan.
So this is Mary. Are you still following original recipes from back then?
We are, yes. A lot of them are the exact same recipe. Our first recipe was our early glow strawberry preserves, and that we still carry the same 40-year relationship with the Bardenhagen family that grows this very specific variety for us, and the recipe remains unchanged.
Great, thank you.
We can go to the next slide. Sweet. So diving into the products here. So this is our cherry berry conserve, and this is made especially for Zingermans who we have such a brand crush on Zingermans. We are just so like-minded in terms of our ethos of business and artisanal food, and just sharing. Justin and Ari they met sharing the same love and affection for artisanal food and rare and beautiful products. This is actually a photo of Ari when he visited Justin in Petoskey, way back when in the early 80s. And this product, the cherry berry conserve, was actually created and designed because by our Petoskey store, which is now our store, it was our kitchen at the time. When Ari came and visited Justin at the Petoskey store, there was a restaurant just down the street called Jesperson's, which is a 100-year-old family-owned restaurant that was making these totally fresh cherry berry pies that was Michigan cherries and these lovely red raspberries. And the smell was just wafting by, and Ari was like, "What is that? I have to have this pie." So we created, based on the flavor profile of the pie, this is how this was created. So this is another one that the flavor remains unchanged and the recipe remains unchanged. So I have one here if we want to dive in and take a little taste.
Jenna, for those of us less in the know, what defines a conserve? What makes a conserve different than preserve?
A conserve is it's like less chunky than a preserve, and there is sugar added to it. There's like more sugar added to it. If I'm getting that right, I should have printed it out, but I had a little cheat sheet of all of our like conserve, preserve, jam, marmalade, all of it. But that's my understanding, is it's chunky, less chunky. Let's see here. So this is all Michigan fruit that's in here too.
Do you end up getting a read from the farmers, like how the season is going and how good they think the crop is going to be? And because it seems to me like they're with that relationship, right? You're talking to them all through the year. And
yeah, that's a really great question. So because we had, I don't know if you obviously are familiar with the weather that's been going on, but earlier in the late spring, early summer, when the cherry trees had a little bit of a scare and an early blossom, we had all that really warm weather early in the season, and that turned the cherry tree. They started blossoming and growing, and then we had a major freeze. So the cherry trees, we are expecting a little bit of a smaller harvest this season. So things like these very special Michigan cherries will be in less and less supply. So we're thankful that we're able to preserve what we can get.
And Jenna, how many different farms do you folks work with?
Oh gosh. I should have included a fruit map on here. We just designed this beautiful fruit map to show where everything comes from. It is, we probably work with 25, 30 different farms. really exclude, like we have special relationships and we have special things that we grow with each of these farms.
For those of you folks that have ever been in the deli and looked at the American Spoon shelf, you can definitely see the giant variety that they have. But we actually do have their fruit map hung up next to all of the jars of American Spoon products. So you can see where all of the fruit comes from.
Oh, fantastic. That's great.
What does everyone think of this one? I really like how the tartness comes through and balances out the sweetness. That's
Really
super
good
fun.
with the goat cheese I've got on my plate.
Ooh, yeah,
Ooh.
goat cheese would be an excellent pairing with this. The tanginess definitely would complement the sweet and tartness as well. This one's my go-to if I want just preserves or conserves on toast in the morning too. A little
It's so
sweetness. and stuff like that.
classic.
Yeah.
It's just such a classic, like you can also just really taste that there's no crap in it. Like that's what I love about our product. There's just no crap. It's pure. It's the flavor of the berries is just right there hitting you in the face. And I don't know, it's just classic to me. And this is also fantastic in a pie. Oh my gosh, this is great in a pie.
This is one of two products that American Spoon does exclusively for Zingerman's. The other one being the black and blueberry.
Yeah, I have one right here.
Yeah. Also really excellent for pies or pretty much anything else you do with it.
Yeah, this is a great product.
What's the farthest you've shipped any of your products?
What's the question?
What's the farthest in the world?
Oh, farthest in the world. Well, we only ship to the United States at this point, so probably Alaska.
Yeah, same. Zingerman's Deli ships to all 50 states, but I know that American Spoon products have traveled abroad with people as gifts for friends and family.
Correct. Yes, we ship a lot at the holidays. We ship a lot of gifts to people who then send them abroad.
I work in mail order and can attest that these go all over the country.
That's
it's cool how many people want that taste of Michigan, no matter where they are.
Very true.
All right, guys, are we ready to taste something else tasty and fun? We got a lot of good ones lined up today.
Question, where do you, because I know you have a lot of locations, is everything actually cooked and jarred and everything in Petoskey?
Yeah, I'm just, the next room over is our kitchen, where our production facility, where all the fruit comes, it gets loaded in, and we process it and cook it in big, beautiful copper kettles. And depending on what, I've learned over the last year, I can come in and kind of smell what we're cooking. I'm getting really good at it. Whether it's like a spicy salsa where your eyes are kind of crying, or whether it's margarita mix, which the lime is really intense, or peaches. It's beautiful to have the full circle, the full cycle here right under this roof.
Jenna, do you folks take the winter off, or what do you do when you're not getting fresh Michigan produce in every day?
Summer is the big processing time. So when I say processing, I mean we've got peaches, cherries, apricots, pears, figs, rhubarb. Like from rhubarb to like apple season, we are taking the actual fruit and processing it in-house. So that, whether that means peeling, pitting, slicing, coring, blanching, whatever, we are dealing with the raw materials all summer. And then the winter is cooking and preserving. A lot of our fruit does get frozen, we'll freeze it so that we can use it all year. Be nice if we took the winters off, that'd be great, but we're busy.
All right, folks, any other questions for Jenna before we move on to the next thing we have to taste? Tessie, our events coordinator, put in the chat a spring vinaigrette that involves this cherry berry conserve. That's the other thing that is super fun about these is working them into savory dishes as well. So this and a little bit of balsamic vinegar and olive oil and salt and pepper, super fun for the spring.
Oh, I love that. Oh my gosh. That sounds good. Do you guys have recipes that do you guys have recipe cards or anything that you regularly share recipes out with your products?
We do, yes. We have recipe cards really all over the store for whatever favorite things that the staff have come up with. Because oftentimes it's the staff take things home and experiment with them. And then they come to work every day and they're like, oh, I just tried this really cool new thing with the whole seed mustard from American Spoon. And we develop recipe cards after that.
Oh, that's so cool. Love that.
So I'll also point out that vinaigrette, if you brush it over chicken before it goes on the grill, makes a great grilling sauce as we're heading into the real season of grilling. And then we did have one question in the chat of ratio of berry to cherry.
Ooh, that's a really good question. Let me taste it again. Let's see. I mean, I gotta say it's pretty 50-50. I can confirm at another time and let B know, but I gotta say it's pretty 50-50. It like I am having a hard time discerning like a really stronger one over the other.
I was about to say, I can't speak to the cherry berry conserve, but I do have some insider baseball on the Jesperson's pie. And that was 2/3 tart cherries and 1/3 raspberries because my aunt worked there in the 80s. And so I happen to have a copy of that one.
Coming in with the hot tip there. Whoa, who knew?
So it's possible Ari was smelling your aunt's pie.
Seriously.
Could have been.
That is no joke. Okay, cool.
All right, we got sour cherry up next.
Yes. So a lot of people think of American Spoon as the cherry company. This is by far and above our most popular product. And it has been described as it's like spreading whole cooked cherries, just like whole delicious pure cooked cherries on toast, or like it's just amazing. The texture and the flavor is unparalleled in terms of just really preserving that strong pure Michigan cherry flavor.
And so how many jars of this do you sell a year?
Oh my gosh, great question. Let's see, I could do some quick math. I know the dollar amount. Probably like 100,000, 150,000. A lot. So this product, it's the cherries that are from the Leelanau Peninsula. They're Montmorency cherries. You know, when you're driving through the Leelanau Peninsula and you see all those beautiful cherry blossoms shaking in the wind in this early summer, late spring, those are our cherries, and they're right there. We're so proud of them, and we're so happy to have such a great access to them. So let's give them a little try. It's magical. It is just such a strong cherry flavor. It's just so bright and so powerful. And it's, you know, great on a PB&J. It's great in a pie. It's great over brie.
I like this one with anything chocolate too, with
My gosh. Yeah.
with some of this on top of like a dark chocolate cake. And
Yes, we have
Pork loin, definitely pork loin.
yep,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yes. We have an amazing recipe for a sour cherry upside down cake on our website as well. That is just outstanding. But it's incredible.
Have you been making this sour cherry preserve since the beginning? Has this been is this one that you've been making for almost 40 years?
Yes, correct. Yeah, this is one of the originals. So sour cherry, Red Haven peach, and early growth strawberry were our like three core products, really highlighting the Michigan fruitlands and the bounty there.
Do you guys get the opportunity much to go out to the farms that you get the fruit from and visit with the farmers and go to the locations?
We do. We take a lot of my role is working with our photographer and putting our catalog together and really making sure we capture the farms, the farmers, the fruit, and just really capturing that kind of lifestyle photography. So I love going and visiting. I love being on set on the farms with these products and with the farmers. Yeah.
Got a question in the chat about the main difference between jam, preserve, and conserve. We've touched on this a little bit.
I know, I really should have come more prepared with that. Oh gosh, I think if I'm not mistaken, I believe a preserve I cannot
I
confidently
know
answer that.
conserve is usually two different fruits mixed together, which is why when we're looking at the cherry berry
Oh
one,
yeah,
that's both
right.
cherries and raspberries. But when we're looking at the
Yep.
sour cherry preserves, that one's just a preserve.
Correct.
And I believe jams have pectin in it, which helps it set
Uh-huh.
a little bit more.
Correct.
Whereas we're seeing with the preserves, it's more of a whole fruit way of preserving the
That
fruit.
is correct. Yes. So let's see here. A preserve is a very soft spread with whole small fruits or chunks. A jam is thick and liquidy. Fruit is chopped or crushed. And a jelly is like more of a thick spreadable gel made with fruit juice. A curd is smooth and creamy, spread using fruit juice and eggs. And most interestingly, a marmalade is actually using the fruit pulp and rind. A conserve is chunky and made with fruits or nuts and often does combine two different fruits. And it sometimes will have extra spice and liqueurs. And yeah, that's kind of I had this here. I have it. Now I pulled it up.
Wendy in the chat also says that the cooking temperature for the sugar is different.
The bricks.
That
Yes,
will also affect the texture that we get.
correct.
I really like how chunky a lot of the American Spoon products are, though. It feels very much like you're eating the fruit and as close to its natural state as you can get.
Yes. Yeah, that's something that we really do we pride ourselves in. That there are certain things like the butters that are just like the very, very thin and fine and no seeds. It's just very smooth.
Why the Red Haven peach? I mean, I know it's a freestone, but so are other peaches, and there's other peaches grown in Michigan. So do you know why that one?
Yeah. Do we want to move on to peach? We can move on to peach.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
So we work with, we have a very, very special relationship with Joe Deli, who is a farmer along the shores of Lake Michigan. And the thing about the Red Haven peach, it's a melting flesh peach, which means, and it's also, a Red Haven is an heirloom variety it's rare and very special. Its flavor is unparalleled, and it has this very thin, very delicate flesh that can only be hand peeled and hand pitted. And not only is the flavor unparalleled, and that's the only thing that would stand up to us in terms of the flavor that we want for our preserves, but it's also just this very delicate, very fickle fruit that we kind of love. We love the attitude of it, and we love the romance of having to hand work with these fruits. The texture is also unparalleled. It's not mealy. It's not it hasn't traveled 1,000 miles on a truck and ripening in a truck. It's we love that it's from Michigan and it just has a special history behind it. Yeah.
So I see the description on the screen, it talks about you guys closing down your kitchen for 2 weeks. That's super
Yeah.
cool. Are there any other fruits that you guys closed down your kitchen for? Or is it just the peaches?
It's so good. Oh, apricots. Apricots are a big one. Pears, apricots, pears, apples. Peaches are really the big one though. And then there are other things that we will hand do, like we hand grate our own horseradish and we chop our own rhubarb, and there's just a lot of handwork that goes into our products. But peaches, peach season is a real thing here at American Spoon. We shut down. It's not even just the kitchen. It's a lot of the company, because it's all hands on deck. Because it's the span that you have to peel, pit, and very quickly preserve these things it's a very short time span.
Who gets to hand grate all that horseradish?
Who gets to do it? Not me.
Oh man.
That's not me. But we do have an amazing kitchen team of people that will do that. And that goes into our Bloody Mary mix.
Wendy asks, how big is the staff in the kitchen?
It's about 50.
How big was it when you guys started?
I think maybe like 6. Like when we really, like 1982, like 6, 5, 6. Really small.
The deli has a similar story of it just being the 2 founders and a couple of part-time employees who opened up on the first day. So
Yep, that was it.
Is anybody from the Forgione family still involved? I mean, I know his son is a chef and
no, not anymore. The only standing owners of the company are the Marshall Rashid family. So Justin, his wife Kate, and then his son Noah is the current CEO, and he runs the company at this point.
Tamara in the chat says, best cheese for the peach preserve pairing. Got a lot of thoughts about this because I really like pairing sweet things with cheeses. It can be fun to go for something really, really rich if you just want a few bites as dessert. We recently got the Pave Angel, which is a triple cream brie style cheese from France back in. And that would be really fun with this. And that would definitely be a dessert way of eating it. I know someone mentioned before when they're having the cherry berry conserve, they're eating it with goat cheese, and any goat cheese I think would be really good with this too. The Sophia, which we have in right now, which is an ash-rinded goat cheese, that one's really nice, a little more tangy and a little bit funky, and I think would balance out the sweetness pretty well. Or if you want to have like the ultimate summer picnic feel, any of the Alpine cheeses. So when we say Alpine cheeses, we traditionally think of Swiss, but there's a whole range of different cheeses that come from that region that are considered Alpine cheeses. Something like a really good Comté, which is going to be harder, a little more nutty, would also be really good with the peach preserves.
That all sounds so good.
Tessie says her favorite is the Manchego 1605, which Manchego is a Spanish sheep's milk cheese. So it'd also be super fun with that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that would be very bright and very, very tasty.
Laurent says Lehner's cheddar. And yes, definitely if we want to keep it in the Midwest, Willie Lehner up in Wisconsin makes an amazing cloth-bound cheddar. And like American Spoon, it's pretty exclusive and pretty location specific. He, for the longest time, would only sell it to us if we drove to Wisconsin and went to visit him at the farmer's market to pick up the wheels. He has a little more leniency now, but it's still a very special thing that we appreciate having Lehner's cheddar on the counter and American Spoon on the shelves.
Absolutely. That sounds so good.
I know, now you guys made me hungry for cheese.
Yeah, me too. All I have are these spoons. I wish I came prepared with some cheeses. Jeez.
Anybody else eating cheese with their preserves tonight?
the goat cheese, yep.
Goat cheese, yep. In my opinion, goat cheese goes with pretty much anything, but especially with preserves. So that's a super fun one. We'll be tasting the apple onion jam later, which is a classic pairing that we put on a lot of our cheese boards when we put them together here at the deli.
Yum.
Jenna, I feel like these peach preserves would also be really great over vanilla ice cream or something like that too.
Yes, we also have a recipe on our website for a hand churned peach preserve ice cream, but it's just to
Ooh.
die for. And I will say, we have just opened our gelato shop this week down in Petoskey, right next to our store and, historic jam kitchen. And we have an amazing peach gelato that is to die for.
How long have you folks been making gelato for?
Oh my gosh, that is a great question. It's been years. I'm not sure off the top of my head, but quite a few years.
And do you have a favorite gelato that you guys make? I admit I've never tried any of your gelatos, and now I'm curious and possibly hungry.
Yeah, well, to be totally honest with you, I've only been here a year, and when I started, it was COVID, so we did not have gelato shop last summer. So this is my first year having gelato. I've tried just about everything. I love the toasted coconut. I also love our tart cherry. I'm a big cherry lover. And we have a toasted marshmallow that I'm not wild about marshmallow flavor, but there's something about this that's just like deep and caramelized and just this nutty flavor that's incredible.
It sounds delicious.
And sweet corn. You can't go wrong with sweet
Ooh.
corn. It's so good.
Sounds like it's
My
time for a
gosh,
deli
guys are
road
making
trip
me
up to
hungry now.
Yeah. Time for a
Come
deli
up.
road trip up to Petoskey.
Come on up. Come get it. I also just like one more quick fact about this. When I was talking about the peaches being hand peeled, it's approximately 50,000 pounds of peaches. Just putting that out there that come in each summer and we work on.
And how are the peaches doing this year?
They're great. Peaches are great. I mean, it's going to be a slightly smaller harvest, just like the cherries, but it's just to be expected with the freeze early in the season. All stone fruit was impacted.
Now I'm impressed it only takes you guys 2 weeks for 50,000 pounds.
It's, again, all hands on deck.
Any other questions about the peach preserves before we move on to our savory options tonight? Great. Let's talk mustard.
Ooh, yes. So I am a savory gal here at the company. I'm probably the most savory lover of everyone here. This is my favorite product by a long shot. It's made with whole mustard seeds, and they're soaked in sparkling Michigan wine for 5 whole days before we start cooking it. It's very bright. It's a little vinegary. It's amazing on hot dogs. It's amazing on a charcuterie board with cheese and cured meats. It's also wonderful on salmon or fish, burgers, deviled eggs. It's just the mustard that I am constantly having to refill in my fridge. So let's give it a little taste.
I really like that it's whole seed. I like that it gives you that little pop in your mouth when you bite into it. This is my go-to mustard for making vinaigrettes too.
Yes.
I like that it gives you a little bit of texture. It makes any salad more exciting.
Yeah, and the little balls is like they give it texture, they give it color. It's a beautiful thing to see on your plate or on a food. We call it the caviar of mustards, not only because it is so delicious, but it literally tastes like it's like caviar texture.
This is another popular one at Zingerman's Deli for cheese plates.
Gosh, it's just so good. That texture is just incredible. The little pops. It's like a ball pit in your mouth.
That's really nice and clean and fresh too. If we have any mustard lovers or mustard haters out there, it's okay. We won't be offended.
Lover on sausage.
Ooh,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
definitely.
Oh,
I'm not a fan of mustard, but this is very good and I would use it.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Love to hear that. Convert.
Wendy in the chat says, yes, clean and fresh and bright.
Mm.
And Tessie put a recipe from American Spoon, the honey mustard salmon with roasted root veggies.
Mm-hmm.
I did include a sizable amount of each one because I want you guys to be able to experiment with them. Let us know what goodies you end up concocting, or if you just eat it all with a spoon, which I'm probably going to do with the peach preserves.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely delightful.
I think everyone at the deli kind of has a story of the first time that they tried something that really just completely blew their mind and helped them really think about food differently, about how good food could taste. And I have to say mine was an American Spoon products. I've always held it very near and dear to my heart. It's the Apricot Jam.
Oh my
The
gosh.
first time I
really?
tried it, I was like, this
Really?
tastes like biting into an apricot. It makes you realize every other apricot jam you've tried tastes like what you think about an apricot should taste like.
Yes.
And still, every time I taste these American Spoon products, I'm like, wow, that tastes exactly like when you taste the peach preserves, it tastes like what a peach tastes like.
Exactly.
It's really cool.
It's funny that you mentioned that. My first time ever going to Zingerman's, and which was my first time ever having an American Spoon product, and that experience all in one really, really helped me form my love of food and artisanal products. It was actually the American Spoon maple cream. If anyone,
Oh yeah.
run, don't walk to Zingerman's to go get it. I believe it's in a cooler, so you may not see it with all the other products, but it is it's unreal. And I remember it was at the time expensive, and it was quite a splurge for me, but I'll never forget it.
Talk about another thing I could just eat with a spoon.
Yeah, fully. I love that. I'd stir that into coffee in the morning. That's my go-to move.
At the deli, all of the staff have a little favorite face. That's the picture of their face, and it says like B's favorite or whatever. And they get to pick which product they want to put it on as a fun little personal way of recommending things. And my face has been on an American Spoon product for the entire time I've been working at the deli. So
Which one?
the apricot.
Yes.
But if you folks are ever in town or looking around, you can try to spot my face.
I'm looking. Cool.
All right, guys, any other thoughts on mustard?
I'll come in and put my face on the mustard.
Great. All right, I can't wait.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Wendy in the chat says, how small is small batch?
Oh my gosh, great question. Well, I would say we probably do about, it all depends on the amount of kettles we have at the time, but, we have going at the time. Currently, we are able to rig up 5 kettles that are this size. And we could have moved to bigger kettles, bigger facility, bigger, making more all at once. But we're really committed to having the kettles only be a certain size so that we can quality control and, make sure it's really small and really hands-on. I don't have an exact figure for you, but I do know that we have intentionally kept it small. I mean, I think a run of 1,000, at once, and then that gets distributed out. That's probably about what it is. And that would be in one day.
So I think the important question is there someone's job who is to do quality control and taste testing? And is that job open at the moment?
It is not that specific role, but we are always looking for kitchen help. We are always looking for people who are excited about food.
All right, friends, are we ready to try the apple onion jam? This is one of my favorite things. I'm super excited we're trying it today.
Yeah. So this is a product that I was shocked that it's actually newer in our line. It has not been around forever. Our culinary director, Chris Detmer, created this when we had the American Spoon Cafe. I don't know if anyone ever had the chance to go to the cafe, but it was a magical little restaurant that we had just next to the store in downtown Petoskey. And one of the most beloved things on the menu was this cafe burger. And Chris created the apple and onion jam to go on just very specifically as an accompaniment to this burger. It's very herby and uses these Northern Spy apples that is an heirloom variety here in Michigan. I just bought my house last year in Petoskey, and we have a Northern Spy tree right in our yard, which I just think is the coolest thing, because it's quite a rare variety at this point. But it really is a great accompaniment to, a nice sharp cheddar on baguette. Can go with an omelet. It's just really a special, unique product. So let's give it a little try.
Really intrigued by the Northern Spy. That's my mom's favorite pie apple.
Really?
Yeah. So this tastes really good.
Good. I mean, isn't that just such an intense flavor? I mean, you could spend however long simmering down and caramelizing onions and getting that deep flavor with the thyme, the balsamic vinegar. I mean, you could spend hours doing that, or you could just pop it out of the jar and give it a nice smear. And it just really takes any burger or meat up a notch, in my opinion.
I'm really impressed by not only the flavor, but the texture is really nice too. The apple and onion are cooked to the same texture, which I think is really, really pleasing. Like you don't get super soft apple and super crunchy onion or anything like that.
Yeah, that's a really good call out. That's a really good observation. I agree, because then at that point, it's almost like you'd be eating like a stuffing or something if it was that, that separation of textures.
Do you know in the process, are they actually shredding the apple?
You're chopping it.
Okay.
Chopping it into like cubes. Man, it's just so good.
Yeah, as we said before, that's a favorite on Zingerman's Deli cheese boards for sure.
Great.
We talked about a couple cheese recommendations beforehand, but this one again, the Laner's cheddar is going to be excellent with that. It also, when you look at the ingredients for it, it has some balsamic vinegar in it too, which I think is really a good balance to a lot of our traditional European cheeses as well. And then of course, anything Italian when you talk about balsamic vinegars too.
Yes.
This one with some of the sandwich Swiss as a grilled cheese is basically French onion soup in a sandwich. It's brilliant.
Yes.
During the really slow days for Zingerman's Deli during the winter, if you sweet talk the sandwich line, they'll make you pretty much anything in a grilled cheese. So maybe next winter, I'll convince the sandwich line to make me an apple onion jam grilled cheese.
That's brilliant. Oh yeah, that is brilliant.
Wendy in the chat says the dice is perfect.
Thank you.
So
I'll let our team know. Yeah, I'm going to give everyone the feedback tomorrow. We're going to have a little meeting. So any other comments you have, I'd love to hear them.
what was everybody's favorite?
Yeah.
Well, I was really excited to try the apple onion jam. I'd seen it in the catalog and was interested, but kind of afraid to buy it.
Yeah.
And now I'm buying some for sure.
That's awesome.
I
Thank
absolutely.
you.
Yeah, that's my best surprise from the lineup. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maggie says she loves the cherry berry. The tartness is great.
Yeah.
I definitely agree with that one.
Yeah, I would have to say in this lineup, I've tried things in passing, but my two favorites would be the cherry berry and the apple and onion jam too. I mean, hands down.
The peach was amazing, but I expected it to be.
That's the thing. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, which were the shockers?
Yeah, I keep going back to that whole seed mustard because, I just love that.
Yeah. It's
Again,
so-
when we're talking about texture, like the fact that flavor and texture is on point for all of these, I think is super cool and super impressive. It shows that a lot of hard work has gone into it over the past 40 years to make it as good as it is.
yes. Thank you.
Jenna, are you guys working on any new products at the moment? Can you give us any sneak peeks?
Yeah, we're working on an incredible chocolate granola.
Ooh.
Our granola is, I don't know if you carry it at the deli, but we have just an unbelievably delicious granola. Again, it's all handmade by one woman in small batches. And we are coming out with a granola version of it, or I'm sorry, a chocolate version of it that you just dump into your face. It's so good.
A
So
grown-up version of Cocoa Puffs right there with a little bit of
That's-
milk.
I was like, it's like Count Chocula. It's
Yeah.
amazing. And we are re-releasing our pumpkin butter that I don't know why we discontinued it, but it's fantastic and phenomenal. So that will be coming back out in the fall. We have a new.
There is a chili you used to have, a pumpkin chili recipe. It is awesome.
The cherry peach pumpkin chili.
Yes.
I think we have now dubbed it the people's chili.
Yeah, that is awesome.
It's outstanding and easy as can be, but the flavor is just unreal. And then we have just released, we have had a crazy amount of releases this summer. We're just about to release a pineapple chipotle salsa. That's just outstanding. We had a red raspberry compote that is delicious, Michigan red raspberries and strawberries, and a lovely, it's like a tot, like, for sundaes or waffles or pancakes. It's unreal. What else? And we've also re-released our house ketchup and house hot sauce. So really the full lineup of sweets and savories. It's all across the board. Good stuff.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Do you have particular people at the company that I would say are the product development, or does every employee have an opportunity to say, I have this idea, what if we pursue it? How does that work?
Well, I would say in a dream world, we would all be providing input and recipes, but our culinary director it's all with him. So between him and Noah, our CEO, they work on the roadmap for new recipes and new products throughout the year. And, from the marketing team, we'll input trends we see, or, kind of new products out in the market, new brands, new things that we see cropping up all over. And we'll bring those findings to them. But for the most part, it's our culinary director. He's driving all of these recipes and he does a phenomenal job. We let him run with it.
How's your peanut butter?
It's insane. It's so good. It's made by the Cozy family in Grand Rapids. They're just outside of Grand Rapids.
We also carry the Cozy family peanut butter at the deli.
Yeah.
And it makes you rethink about what peanut butter should taste like.
Exactly. And we also have an almond butter that is made by Big Spoon Roasters. And I take our honey and I take our almond butter and I dip a spoon in both. I have a special jars for this little operation and just dip. And that's my little snack. It's phenomenal.
And a couple comments in the chat. Tessie put, you can shop American Spoon online at shop.zingermansdeli.com. You guys also got an event code that will give you a discount in that shop. If you got it, you should have gotten it in your email, in the same email that gave you the Zoom code. But if you didn't see it, let me know and I'll certainly help out. Wendy says she's going to try the apricot, even though I love this peach, which that's a high compliment, Wendy. I'm glad I'm converting someone else to apricot, even though the peach is so good. And then Tessie put that cherry pumpkin chili, the people's chili, in the chat as well, if you guys want to try to make it at home.
Thank you. It's just more of our lifestyle photos.
Is that photo in the upper right? Is that the flagship store in Petoskey?
It is. That is our little baby store. That's where it all began.
The
Yeah.
pies are making me want to start baking.
Yes. So the pie, that is our Fruit Perfect sour cherry. Different than the preserves. Fruit Perfect is really like whole fruit, suspended in a ruby red syrup. It is the perfect pie filling, period, hands down. So it's just classic cherry pie. And then we also have a blueberry Fruit Perfect. That's the same deal. It's like pie in a jar. So I would recommend that as well. That is another popular product.
So curious, I know that Zingerman's carries your products here. Do you carry Zingerman stuff in your stores up north?
I wish. We do not at the moment. What we do, we just have our collaborations. So the two conserves, and then we just this spring came out with a blueberry lemon coffee cake that we collaborated with the bakehouse on. So those are now in our stores. It's a small and a large, and you can also buy it online. But it's in good partnership with Zingerman's.
That blueberry lemon coffee cake sounds lovely.
It's fantastic. Yeah.
Maggie says she was talking to a guest the other day who's raving about the Fruit Perfect, that she puts it over cheesecake.
It's
another really good
idea.
Yeah.
Oh yes. We have another recipe online that you can grab for the Fruit Perfect over cheesecake. I really can't stress enough that the flavor is just classic cherry pie.
Guys, we've got about 5 minutes left. What other questions do you have? You guys inspired to try baking or cooking anything with what we have today?
Definitely.
Whoever said the pork chops with the sour cherry preserves, that sounded really good.
With
That
pork
might be on my
loin.
list.
Yeah,
Pork
with pork
loin.
loin.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that might be on my list for this week.
Definitely. That sounds fantastic. I think we have a recipe as well online for the Red Haven peach and fresh mozzarella and basil. Just a little fresh little appetizer. I remember when I lived downstate that I would go all the way to Zingerman's for your fresh mozzarella, and I would do it again in a heartbeat.
It's the good thing about working with a lot of foodies is I'll try something at home with like one of these products. I'll come in, guys, this is what I tried. Everyone's like, no, you should do these 4 separate things. That everyone else will come back with a different version the next day of what they've tried.
How fun. It's so fun working for a food company.
Yeah. Not to rub it into the rest of you guys, but this is the best job in the world.
It is.
I get to eat food and talk to you about it with you guys. This is pretty great.
Yep. Yes. Absolutely.
So Tessie put in the chat our post-event feedback form if you guys have any suggestions or what you'd like to participate in an event about next, or what we can do better in the future, or how much you love the whole seed mustard, or how excited you are to try the apricot jam with me. All those things can go in there. We'll keep the Zoom room open for a few more minutes to chat, but we don't have anything else to talk about today unless you have more questions for Jenna.
Sounds like a great life, Jenna. Eating jam and living in Petoskey, you know.
I gotta say, I'm pretty grateful. I'm pretty lucky. This is my dream job, dream place.
Jenna, do you help out last summer with the peaches then? Did you take the 2 weeks to go skin peaches as well?
I was I was just hired in June, so it was just hitting the ground running. I was not in the kitchen peeling peaches, but by golly, did I see it happening. and it was beautiful. Justin comes back, all of Noah's kids come in, just everyone from all over town. I mean, people that have been doing it for 30, 35 years come, and that's just their thing. It's like a Petoskey thing. It's very cool.
That's so fun. All right, so you're going to help out this year? Or are you going to
Oh yeah,
basically
I
let the
can't
experts
wait.
do it? Yeah,
Oh, I'm there.
that's
I
great.
wanna learn. I'm so there.
Yeah, there's something really special about being hands-on with the food, I think.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. I think maybe on the first or second slide, I think there is a picture of someone peeling peaches. If I did include it, I'm not sure. Maybe one more up. Yeah, so you can see that's Heather there peeling peaches. And so you can see just how soft that peach is in her hand. They're just, they melt.
Cassandra in the chat says she loved them all.
Great.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you.
Guys, thanks for all for coming today. This is kind of my ideal summer evening, is hanging out and eating good fruit and getting to chat with all of you guys.
Same.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. This has really been a blast. And let me know when you guys end up doing tastings in person as well. I want to come down.
Yes, absolutely. We'd love to host you and get to try out maybe making some of these things together.
Yes, that would be so fun. I would love that.
I was about to say, I really want to let Chef Wallow in the kitchen go to town with some of these and feature some fully composed dishes for a tasting with you guys at some point.
Please, I would love that.
That's the really cool thing about our kitchen team, is they'll wander up through the specialty foods retail section and go, well, I'll take a jar of this and experiment with this. And then the next day there's something incredibly cool in the salad case that I've never even tried before, featuring one of our products. So,
oh my gosh, how
always
fun.
fun.
Oh, love that.
Wendy says, thanks for all the ideas.
Yes. Yeah,
Thank
check
you
out.
guys for the ideas. Thanks for the cheese pairings, whoever volunteered cheese pairings. I'm across the street from the deli right now, so I might have to walk back across the street to the deli, pick up some cheese, and have cheese and preserves for dinner tonight.
That's not a bad idea. Now that I have all these open jars, I might do the same thing.
If you need some cheese, we can hook you up.
I will take the 4-hour drive and go do that for sure.
Jenna, you also have Petoskey Cheese Company right around the corner, so you should go visit Katie.
Yes,
A good friend
absolutely.
of mine.
Oh, love Katie. She has helped me through many a cheese need. Definitely. Yeah, good call. Also Simon's, they're fantastic too.
All right,
Cool.
folks, it was lovely to get to meet all of you tonight. Thank you for hanging out. Let me know if there's anything I can do. You can reach us at delievents@zingermans.com with any questions. If you can't figure out your coupon code, we just want to say hi. We'd love to hear from you guys. Thanks so much,
Thanks.
everyone.
Thank you. Nice to meet you guys.
Have a good night, everybody.